Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. Continuing our draft prep, starting to zero in on some guys here. We did Donovan Ezeiruaku, who I think should definitely be in the conversation at 17 last Friday. Bringing in some new guys here as the picture is getting a little clearer, right? One guy we didn't do with the offensive lineman, because we kind of bounced around offensive linemen so far. You know they're going to take him. We got to watch Tate Ratledge because he seems like one of the most commonly mocked guys to the Bengals. But I think at 17, somebody we probably overlooked for a while that I think makes a ton of sense for the Bengals. One of the cleanest prospects they could draft. We're talking about a 21-year-old, 3-year starter, 5-star recruit for one of the best offenses over the last 3 years that has produced at a very high level, but some view him as a guard. And I'm talking about Kelvin Banks Jr. And I was just listening. I don't know if you guys listen to other podcasts, and especially draft season. I like to, because I absorb that stuff. But I was listening to Nate Tice and his father, Mike Tice, who was an offensive line coach, and they went over Kelvin Banks. They went over all these guys. It was good. I think it's called Football 101, the podcast, but they go over all these offensive linemen. And Nate thinks he's a guard. And Mike, his father, was open to the idea as well. And I agree with what they're saying. And there's a couple of reasons. We'll go over the RAS stuff, the athletic testing. Banks comes out as above average as a tackle. He's elite as a guard. And I think there's a few things that you can look for. And I think this is the game for it, because I've watched him before, but it was early in the process when I was watching linemen, probably in late January. So it's been a while. I have to refresh myself with this game. But this game, I think, shows it the most because they run the ball a lot in this game. And I think that's key for guards, number one. But number two, I think his foot quickness inside is where he could potentially be really good. But also because he's 21, he might end up being a tackle in the future. So maybe in 2 years, you move him to left tackle. We've talked about this process before. It's very common. I know it frustrates some fans because why do you move guys? That's the NFL. Tackles go to guard, and from college to the NFL happens all the time. It will continue to happen. There's no change in that. So let's see what Kelvin Banks Jr. could probably do for the Bengals at 17 against Michigan. Number 78 at left tackle, as it's always meant to be, is Kelvin Banks Jr. He is 20 years old in this game, very 20. He just turned 21 not too long ago, within weeks, I want to say, to a month. It says 21.1 on the spreadsheet at the end of April, so it had to have been any day now in the past few days. So Kelvin Banks Jr., 78 here. We're going against Michigan, who has some edges we want to pay attention to. Josiah Stewart. They got a couple of defensive tackles. We may have watched this game. I may have watched this game multiple times now. Colston Loveland, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart. So let's watch Banks. As so far, we've got a couple of misdirection plays. Get the ball out. Let's keep it moving. Before we finally get a pass protection play here. We got Gunnar Helm too, also at tight end. A lot of players in this game. As Banks slides inside, he and the tight end pick up number 8. What you're going to see is an athlete, very balanced player, 6'5" and a little bit over, 315 pounds, 33.5-inch arms. There we go. We got a pass set situation there. 33.5-inch arms, 84.4-inch wingspan. Again, another 7-foot wingspan guy. So I think he can play tackle and eventually get out there. And because he's 20 when he tested, that makes sense. Just shy of 21. You see him here. He's kind of awkward at times. Like that butt's out there. His balance is offset to the left here. But he quickly regathers, good hand positioning, drops the anchor, works that guy outside. So he absorbed that contact pretty well. Sealing off the edge here. He had a little bit of indecision. Like, I got number 1. Let me knock number 1 inside. Can I get to 15? You cannot. And 15 is the one who ended up coming to force the running back inside. I would have liked to have seen if he could get up there. You could see the little hesitation of, okay, who am I getting in this? Screen pass going the other way. Little tunnel screen. Matthew Golden for Texas as well. Not that we're interested in receivers. This is him against Mason Graham, who's going to be a top 5 pick. This is one of the better plays for Kelvin Banks as we watch this. He's going to work with his guard. And I like Jake Majors too as like a 6th rounder or so. I don't know if he's only a center or he can play guard as well. They got I think Cam Williams is a right tackle is his name. He's more of a 5th, 6th, 7th rounder. I've seen him ranked higher than that. I'm not in on it. But Kelvin Banks quickly on this play. First guy moving, not uncommon, I think, in the run game. He and that guard in lockstep there, and he's going to take the fight. He's the main guy on Mason Graham here, and he's going to win that leverage battle. He's walking him backwards. Graham's now 2.5, maybe 3 yards. His back is arched. He's bent backwards. Banks is inside on him and drives him completely through that play. Really good block for Banks. On a very good player too, right? I'd like to see him get a couple on Kenneth Grant as well, if I remember correctly. Sliding inside, allowing the edge guys to take the blitzes from the outside, handling his man pretty well. They didn't have enough guys to pick that up. You had an unblocked defender, and the quarterback was unable to get to it. There he is against Josiah Stewart. He's going to get outside. And as Stewart flashed a little bit, you saw Banks pull his hand back because he didn't want to get it knocked off. And then both hands lock where it needs to be. Stewart's going with the rip. So again, this isn't holding. As long as you don't allow him to get a direct path to the quarterback, you keep your hips in front of him and your knees in front of him, which Kelvin Banks does, rides him out very cleanly. Another win, 2 pass pro wins. I think a nice win in run blocking versus Mason Graham as well. Again, there are times here it looks like he gives up that outside shoulder a little bit too quickly. Let me speak. Come on. My brain's going too fast. So I need to pause it sometimes. Gives up that outside shoulder a little too easily and too quickly. He is able to regain. If you watch that again, the edge rusher misses his swipe, his 2-hand swipe, because Banks pulls it away. Banks pulls his hands away, lets you swipe, and then gets his hands back and reset. Now he's going to allow his hips and his feet and his knees to get over in front and work that guy and stonewall him. So there are times where I'm like, ooh, and then he recovers and looks great. So I think people may be getting mixed with him because of it, because he looks like he's giving things up. And I don't know if you saw that real quick. He's going to cut block number 42. I like to see it because not everyone's willing to do that. Even when you ask a guy to cut block sometimes, these linemen, and they don't like to get down on the ground. They'll just, no, that was a real cut. Again, right? He looks like he's giving up that outside corner, but his hands are in there. He's even getting turned a little bit, but he looks super strong right there, right? He's holding that guy without a problem. And I don't mean that in the negative way. Nice throw, nice touchdown. I don't mean in a negative way as in he's holding him. What I mean is his grip strength looks very good there. We end up with Kelvin Banks on the ground. This class, the linemen we've watched, I think we've been pretty good without guys on the ground. I really like the offensive line class much more than I heard it was a great defensive tackle class. I think it's okay. I think it's a better edge class, and I think the O-line class is very, very good. So what I like here to start with is Banks a little slow off his stance, but hand battle. He's going to grab that wrist, right? That inside wrist. And we've got almost a stunt coming, and he's going to try and get back inside fast because he kind of lost that inside leverage. But the guard is lifting 8 out of the picture. And because of it, I think Banks is kind of caught off guard by that and didn't have any resistance as he went back inside and he just fell over. It's a good pickup by the guard, though. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a loss. It's more of like things happen. And again, with Mason Graham, as he's going to slide inside for Banks, they end up with Graham here. Graham's going to try and cross his face. Punch by Banks, and then a redirect, flip his hips and directly get in front of him. And now get your hands on him as other people start picking it up. I think Gunnar Helm would be, again, I'm going to say this, I've said it before. He tested like crap, but I think he's a solid enough athlete. I think 4th, 5th round for him. And I think he'd be a good fit for the Bengals to replace what Eric All did. Again, run blocking for Kelvin Banks right here. Watch how he coils up on Josiah Stewart, who I think is a good run defender for his size, especially. Look how much lower he's getting. Josiah Stewart is barely 6'1". He's getting underneath him and out leveraging and powering him. Watch it one more time. I mean, that's a very good pop, good push for Banks. Good leverage, good strike. You're going to need that at guard. And again, we see it again in a flash, right? Watch how he takes 91. He really coils up. His hands are in good spot there, showing a lot of power, a lot of leg drive. Some of these linemen we watch don't have the leg drive. They go dead on contact. Again, against 15. Drive. He's low. He's balanced. He's perfectly square. The feet are moving. He doesn't deaden on contact as the guy tries to shed off of him. He stays latched on. Now, this is where a lesser athlete falls. Banks recovers and stays with it and actually continues to block and stays on the guy for the first down. It's a good block again. This time, 8 tried to bring the fight to Banks. 8 did a good job, but Banks was able to hold him off for the most part. And I want to say he gives up a sack in this game, so we're waiting for it. I think it's the only sack he gave up all year. Little over his toes there on initial contact. Now it's a wrestling match. It's a straight up fight. And can you recover and stay with it? And I think he does. That's 2 throws on the run there. Is 3 yours? I think it is. Yeah, it is. All right, flipping the round, second quarter now. Goes against Kenneth Grant real quick. Just a quick hand battle right there. I like that Banks has them. They're locked up. They're embracing. Gunnar Helm picking up the first down. Again, down block onto Kenneth Grant. And he's successful here. Let's go back all the way. Watch him. He's going to go down onto Kenneth Grant at D tackle. Bang! I mean, when you see the other guy's helmet inwards like this, you've laid a initial solid hit on him. And then the hips and everything flip to it. Did you see that from the contact to the flip? Very smooth, very robotic in a good way. Someone may call holding on that, but overall, I think that's a winning block on what may be the best nose tackle in this draft. So we've seen a good pass rusher, a top 5 defensive tackle pick, and the best nose tackle in this class. So that's why it's a good game. I think he loses this one. He should know where the run's going here and keep working upfield a little bit. Not a big deal because it's still a 6-yard gain, but he's ended up on Mason Graham again. Now, Mason Graham has kicked some butt his whole life. And as you see here, 76 is going to pass him off to 78. 78's our guy. Now it's one-on-one with Mason Graham. Now it's not a true pass set, but if he's at guard, this is what it would look like. And you see that arm right there? And watch him sink his butt. I'll actually draw it a little bit because I haven't drawn yet. But arm up into his chest, into his shoulder, and then the butt dropped. Now your weight, you're square, you're in complete control on a top 5 pick at defensive tackle. That's a pass interference, no doubt about it. No. I like when contact comes to him, he is so ready for it. Like that angle, we talked about angles with Ezeiruaku, right? When he's pass rushing. And that's why I want to see guys try to beat him around the arc. I think the way to beat him would be around the arc. But so far, these guys keep trying to run through him. And he is just, these feet are planted. The weight's here. What I mean by the angle, he's like this. I don't like when a guy's like this. So he's teetering between too far forward and you don't want to be upright, right? You don't want to be usury upright. But this is good here, and that's where he is here. I'm using off his backside. He's got this thing here. This means he can play guard, in my opinion. You can be like, all right, Joe, that's too much. It's scouting. But no, he shows good anchor. All right, too much drawing. Put the pen away. See, I wanted to see the run actually go behind Banks here. See, he's going upfield. We've got the Y insert, it looks like. We've got this guy, this tight end coming up right here. Like, let's do this, running back. Let's follow. But no, I get it. I understand why you'd go this way too. We got these blocks. We got these blocks. But Banks is definitely trying to keep this guy to the outside. And we end up with him kind of throwing him off and then making a nice tackle, number one there. I don't know what number one is, but that was an athlete play. All right, we got a wide rush here. And he does it again, man. I tell you, the quarterback's bailing his pocket for no damn reason. But watch Banks get out there. Again, he's going to show that one punch. He's starting to turn his hips and square up. Going to absorb the long arm from Josiah Stewart. And now he's going to drop himself. And this is not a problem for him to get low and bend at the knees. He is not a waist bender. You don't want to be a waist bender. You want to drop your knees and get low. He absorbs that contact. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying here. Like, Josiah Stewart can run with some power here, despite being a smaller dude. So watch him. It's just nothing. There is nothing there for him. It's a good rep for Banks. Again, it keeps looking like he's opening that outside gate, but nobody's really attacking it yet. Maybe we'll get that later. Oh, Mason Graham with the instant win, right? Because they're pulling the guard. So Graham's got the outside. Banks sees it, drops, and goes, I'm just gonna nail him right into the shoulder and midsection and drop him. Make sure my quarterback stays free while we get the ball to Jadon Blue. Let him run down the field. There's another guy we'd take, huh? Give me 3 Texas guys in the respective rounds. Banks, 1st round. Helm, 5th round. Blue, 6th round. Am I getting too greedy there? A little mix up on what's going on that play. Andrew Makuba, 3rd round. We can go down the Texas line. I'm in. And we got another nice run block from Banks as he drives inside. I mean, this guy's getting low. He's 6'5". He is getting low. Look at this. He is driving into these guys. You want a tough, physical lineman? You want a guard, a tackle that can kick in the guard? Getting low, playing with physicality, run blocking. And do we get like some push on this play? Let's go back. Do we get some push on this guy? Oh, hell yeah, we do. I mean, and then I'm climbing up and getting to the linebacker. So far, let's see how he latches on and sustains. But so far, A block, A level block. And it finishes that way. He's still on him. You guys don't want Kelvin Banks Jr.? You're crazy. You're crazy. Oh, there we go. Now he's on the ground. Now we get one on the ground. So let's see how he absorbs this power here. Regains his footwork, drops his butt, stiffens up, maybe leans a little too much, and 8 throws him down before making the tackle. That's a neutral play. You lose. No, that's a loss. I was going to say he recovered, but then he lost the third. If there's 3 phases there, he lost the initial push, he recovered, and then lost the last one. Lost the last phase, the disengagement. All right, so we got to block down, and we've got to get this defensive tackle here. We got to keep him inside because we're running this way. Does that make sense? Let's watch it. That's the goal. That's the task. Let's watch Banks. Bang, hold him. Stay low. Stay low. Man, he really plays low. You want this. Look at this. He is down. He's not giving up anything. Leverage. Great block, Banks. And I like the way he runs and follows through plays and celebrates. I want that energy. Again, pass pro, balanced. He's a little over leveraged, but it doesn't seem to affect him too much. He's out over his toes a little. See, like that's a little much. If I was drawing the angle, your toes there, his head and shoulders, the only real cure for dandruff is high throw, is a little too far forward. Hasn't affected him too much. No one's really made him pay for it. Like Ezeiruaku versus him would be good. Again, we're getting low on the RPOs. He's blocking hard on RPOs. Down. Drive Mason Graham out of there. Hell yeah. This is exciting lineman tape. This is good stuff. And he gives up a sack at some point in this game. There's a miss. There we go. There's a miss. As he's checking right, left. This is very guard. This is a very guard type play. He gets just enough of Graham to keep it from being a pressure, but he definitely looked like he just threw a shoulder into him and lost that one. See, this is a good, Blue takes it outside, but these guys are they're two Rams just going at it on the edge here. And Banks is trying to stay low, gets out leveraged a little bit there. Can you drive him out of there? Because the play is coming behind you, right? What I'm saying is, if you're still in the same exact spot you were when you started this block, the rest of the blockers, everyone's coming this way. That's how you get your back rolled up on. And that's basically what happened there. And the Josiah Stewart bails out as the running back's going to the edge and he has to go make the play. So that's a neutral play there, but I'd like a better. See, there's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Here's the edge rush I'm looking for. Is that Stewart? I can't tell what number it is. It is Stewart. Although the other guy looks like 0 as well. I can't tell. Anyway, so Banks, we're going to attack the outside edge. And this is what I talked about. I want to see someone attack him there at tackle. He gives that outside arm. That arm gets knocked down. You're kind of it is Stewart. Kind of in a situation here now. You're going to hook. And if this is going to be a hold, this guy's got to get around here and have a direct path to the quarterback, right? So you've got to stay and get in front. Cut that path off, even with your arm here. Can he do that? Yes, he does. You see that foot, that left foot? That wide step. Now pull it together, anchor, tighten it up, and hold him at bay. It's a good block. It's a good block. Or diving inside here. And he's trying to get in and get Mason Graham. Get a piece of Mason Graham. Don't let him kill this play. Everyone's diving inside. Did we get just enough here? Looks like it. First down. We're pulling Banks, which you're going to do at guard a lot. I don't know what the confusion is here. We ended up with two guys in the same spot. Where did 76 come from? Or we're pulling both. It's guard and tackle pull. Then I want to say Banks is supposed to be cutting up inside. That might be on Banks there. That might be a negative on him. You got to know who you're hitting when we go to the second level. It's important. Highly important. You can be an athlete, but you got to know who you're hitting. Which so far we've had good blocks by him at that spot. He gets Mason Graham here on the edge. Graham's going to go out on the outside. The length difference here is huge. Even when he's over leveraged here, his hands never once flinch off the chest of Mason Graham. Graham has nothing on him. And he's got Kenneth Grant here. Grant almost knocks that down. Oh, my. Is that Blue? Is Blue 23? I might have been tripping earlier when it was 26. I think Blue is 23. That's why I looked the way I did, because let me get Jadon Blue. He's projected to be like 5th, 6th round, and he can catch and run routes and make guys miss in the open field. That'd be so fun with Chase Brown. Patient pass pro here and set. You see how he puts that arm out again? He's baiting. This is a 20-year-old. He's baiting this edge rusher with that arm out. And then you want to attack it. I'm going to pull it away. And then I'm going to have the advantage. You're not going to knock my hand down. How many times have we seen him get his hand knocked down in this game? I don't know if we have yet. And go back to the Ezeiruaku tape and watch how often he's knocking hands down. Go back to any of these edge rusher tape. Yes, he's hooked. But again, as I told you, if you're rip moving here, if I'm going with a rip move, you're forcing the hook. So they're not going to call it if I can stay in between. Does he stay in between at this last point as the ball is coming off? Yeah, he does. That's why it's not a hold. That's why you need to be a good athlete at tackle. He's got Mason Graham there. Does just enough. Graham ends up on the ground. Let's see it again. 76 has him. Banks is going to come over and take him, so 76 can go get the linebacker. We got a huge hole here. Good. These guys were really well. Every time I watch the Texas offensive line, they work together very, very well. It's a huge hole there for Jane on Blue. And Banks does his job on Graham again. All right, we got goal line situation now. First and goal from the 3. Let's try and run behind Banks. Maybe we can get one of those. Ewers kept it. Watch Banks go right to the chest with his head. I mean, he's still young, but I like to see this. I like to see guys play with that intensity and that not really care for their body. I hope these guys don't get hurt, obviously, but you got to play with that type of intensity, especially in the trenches. It is the requirement. See, this is stuff you can do. Come on, Blue, get out there. All right, this should be 3rd down and goal now. Let's see what we do. Banks has the edge and touchdown. Let's watch it again as Banks has the edge. He's got to get out there as if we're running it, but then we're pass pro the whole time. Stay with him. Stick on your guy. Keep your hands locked, and he does. Touchdown. Got to say, we're halfway through this tape? 60% way through the tape. Banks has been amazing. This is probably the first time we get a loss here, and it might be from our 1st and 4th round pick, maybe 5th round pick, Gunnar Helm. As Banks is low and in there, but Helm, no, it's not Helm's fault. I thought Helm knocked him off. He may have hit a little bit of Banks. Banks might have been over, off balance just a little bit there. And Helm ends up finishing it. A lot of chaos happening. That's not ideal for Banks. We've seen him on the ground maybe 3 times. Twice for being over his toes. That one may have been one. One for being confused, or remember the guy, he just fell to the ground. Not sure what happened on that one, but not this play here. I'm talking about earlier when he ended up on the ground. I didn't know what to classify that. All right, back to it. Climb to the 2nd level, get to 1. It's not an easy thing to get to, and you're going to have to do this at guard a lot as well, probably more often than you do at tackle. A better hit on Graham may have helped here, but then you got to climb up and get to number 1. And that's actually just as hard as helping and get Mason Graham out of there. So I think a better hit, better help with his guard there would have gone a long way. But clearly they were focused on getting up to number 1 at linebacker. So he's got Graham one-on-one on the edge. I just want to point that out before we go. Graham's going to try and rush from the edge in a stand-up position. Banks is going to absorb it. Bang. He looks like a guard. And then lock him out before the play turns to chaos. Deep ball. Banks going inside there to protect as they were sliding the line. Let's see here. Again, he's got 91. Kind of falls off a little too easily there. 91 discards him pretty well. Sometimes you get a little overzealous upfield in an effort to wall him off and seal him off. Good pluck, Gunnar Helm. I think he got his eyes laid on it too, right? Yeah, because he's turning, then he sees it. Bang. Just got to react sometimes. A little bit of confusion there. Banks is out in front. Let's see if Banks can go get on someone. He couldn't. This play's just gone. But Banks, the timing is off on this. He's like, all right, do I go get 7? Wait, is the play going that way? Am I wrong? Or shouldn't I have someone coming this way because we got a reverse coming? And then he looks and he spins like nobody's there. No one's here. No one's there. Where is everyone? Can I get to this guy? I can't. But 5's fast enough. Or he's not fast enough. 2 catches up and makes the tackle. All right, we got a goal line situation then. Let's finish the game. Number 1. Oh, we're just kneeling it. And what is that? Michigan, come on now. We didn't get a flag for that. A little aggressive. Said he gave up a sack in this game on PFF, so we still got another 4 minutes to go here. Maybe it's coming late in the game. Nothing to see so far. Is that blue with the little hesitation step? It is. Give me blue too. Touchdown. All right, now we're in a pass set on Josiah Stewart. They are just going at it face to face. Man, Stewart's taking it to Banks there. You see Banks' neck coil. That hurts. That sucks. It's because I'm getting close to 40. Like every one of these is like, I'd have a headache. My head would ring. O-line, D-line tape's still my favorite. Fourth quarter. Oh, just got enough of Mason Graham there. Did you see that? He has to kind of wait to allow his guard to kick out. He can't just fire down. So now he can, but I just got to get enough. Can I just slow him down a little to allow the running back to take that? And you did. I mean, if we can get this block, we're good. The next two guys, Poland, can't get their blocks. A lot of times it's not athleticism why guys fail on the second level. It's just that chaos happens. They don't know where to block, don't know who to get to. And we got Banks with a nice block on the edge on the left side here. Watch him on the left side here. As the end dives inside, that end dove inside. You see that? And right, he's going to end up on the guard. Banks is going to say, do I got 10? No, I actually have 1 at linebacker. And I got to wall him off and seal him off all the way down here, create a lane for the running back to run through. And that's exactly what he does. So keep your eyes on Banks as this play develops. Watch him get there, get him a good, look at him, good strike, good initial strike, good leverage, good hand placement. Can you sustain now? Sustaining is hard. Yes. Can you run with him? Can you move with him? Can you be an athlete? And he does. Looks like we got a first down. Or just shy. 3rd and 1. First down probably ends it. Let's see what happens here. Yep. Good initial leverage. We're starting out low. We're firing out low. You and Gunnar Helm flinch there. We're going to start low. Then you see the helmet of that edge. I mean, he hits with so much power and force. And then we're getting that guy out of there. I think the running back should have. Yeah, I don't know if he was reading that way or not. We'll keep it moving. But running back should have ran right behind him. Run behind Banks. He's getting movement in the run game. Oh, what a throw. What a layered throw here by Ewers. Just put it over 1. Hey, there's a loss for Banks. This is the most clear-cut loss we've had. He's been on the ground 4 times, if you want to put a negative on his profile. He has ended up overbalanced, off balance, overextended. Yeah, I think that's what I want. So there's a loss on a run block. He's got to decide between 2 guys coming here. Is it 26? He sees quickly, very quickly he sees. I mean, this guy just started flinching inside. And obviously we're going to go like this, right? The 2 guys, we're going to have a twist, bit of a stunt here. Banks, whenever I still shot it, he looks awkward. But then he's going to recover and anchor very, very well, very, very cleanly. I mean, those long arms are there, man. He holds these guys at bay. Again, I thought a sack is coming in this game. Was there a quarterback run? Then he got right to the 1 or something. Oh, we got a tip play. I wanted to see him get out there. He was still playing. Did a quarterback get run? Did he run and get tackled for a loss? Did he step out of bounds? Like, where was the sack at? There we go. There's some drive and power on the 15. Let's watch Banks here get up to second level. Smack heads. Now that little separation after the smack is when you regather your hands, lock a guy out, get your body in position, create the wall. Turns out 92 beat his man. I think he beat the left guard there, 76. So that's not on Banks. Good block again by Banks. High rate of good blocks for him. See, again, leverage. Watch how he's like, okay, get a hand so that 81 can get to my end here, right? So I'm just going to punch this guy here so that 81 can come and block him, because we're not going to worry about the far end because we got the tight end over here taking the far end. What Banks has to worry about is I just got to slow this guy down enough, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try and clear out this defensive tackle with the help of my left guard. That should clear this. That should clear that, and the running back should be able to go right through that. Does that make sense? So let's watch Banks with that in mind. Yes, watch him get low. So one punch to this end here, misses it, but then get low, get to the hip, and drive that defensive tackle out of there. I'm surprised the end didn't stick with, the running back didn't stick with it. I think it would have opened. Down to 13 seconds. Again, this guy's outside of us, number one. So we got to get to that outside shoulder, turn him inside, flip our hips around, lock him out, and keep him inside. Great job. Accomplished. Now I can release to the second level and try and get to a linebacker or anyone that may be out there. No one's out there, so it is what it is. And that should be the end of the game. So if you like that tape from Kelvin Banks, well, that's not one of his best games. It's like his average game, according to PFF. You can go back and watch Georgia, a couple other high-level teams that Texas played, but he pretty much looks like that every time. Good leverage, good strike, good power, good balance, good anchor, plays very, very hard. He's a solid athlete. In fact, if you pull up his RAS data, and I'm going to pull that up right now, Banks is an 83.1, 8.31 relative athletic score at offensive tackle, which is good. You want to be over 80th percentile when you're drafting in the first round. But if you move him to guard and move him inside, again, you're taking better athletes at tackle, moving them to guard. This is what you want to do in a lot of ways. That athleticism goes up to the 95th percentile, from 83 to 95th, compared to guards, because typically guards are less athletic than tackles. And he looks like he plays like a guard in a lot of ways. So for me, I think it's a great fit. I think he'd be where would I have, so coming back to this, where would I have him ranked? Like, I'd love to have Walter Nolan. I'd like Derek Harmon. I would love to have, if those guys are all cleared, I'm just talking based on tape, James Pierce, Mike Green, let's throw them out for now. I'd love to have Donovan Ezeiruaku. I'd love to have Membu and Will Campbell, but they're not going to be there. I'd love to have Mason Graham, but he's not going to be there. So where are we going to end up putting a guy like Banks? Is he right there with Walter Nolan? I think he probably should be. I think that is a very similar level prospect of the second tier of these guys in round one, that if one of them are there, you can't be mad about it. So of the offensive linemen, I think he's one of the best fits for the Bengals and would be very high on their board if I had to guess. This has been Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. I'm not supposed to say that at the outro. You know, the hardest part of doing these things is the intro and outro. Like, if I could just watch film, I'd be good. This has been Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. Until next time is what I'm supposed to say, or what I do say. No one tells me what I'm supposed to say. Who dey?
Everybody loves the NFL draft. There's no question about that. So, in honor of that, we're going to have our third annual First Star Logistics draft party. It's going to be at Handlebar at Great American Ballpark. It's going to start at 7 o'clock. And then Friday, of course, is day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3. Brad Johansson will be hosting. Joe Goodberry and myself will be on the panel. And also make sure we get some guests from the Cincinnati Bengals organization that are going to remain a little bit of a surprise to you folks right now. it's sold out. I mean, first time we had it at a Great American Ballpark, it was well received. It's off the charts this time. So the only way you can catch us, watch the live stream on the First Star Media Group YouTube channel. That's the way you're going to be involved. It's going to be a great night. Mark it down. Don't miss it.